Okay, Wildcats. Today we're looking at Tuesday, April 16th, Graphing Polynomials Part 1, and that's on page 72. If you would, update your table of contents. Okay, now your table of contents are updated. Let's take a look at the notes. Graphing Polynomials on page 72. Name by degree. X to the power of 1 is linear. Now, when the leading coefficient is positive, it's going up from left to right. And then when the leading coefficient is negative, it's going down from left to right. Okay? X squared is quadratic. When the leading coefficient is positive, it opens upwards. When the leading coefficient is negative, it opens downward. All right, x cubed is cubic. When its leading coefficient is positive, it's going up from left to right. When the leading coefficient is negative, it's going down from left to right. When it's x to the fourth, it's quartic. When the leading coefficient is positive, it opens upwards. When the leading coefficient is negative, it opens downward. X to the fifth is quintic. Okay. Now, the number of turns is 1 less than the degree. Now, to find the x-intercept, zeros or roots, you set f of x equal to 0 and solve. The solving methods are method 1, factor, method 2, quadratic, formula, method 3, synthetic division. Now, zeros can have multiplicity. Multiplicity of 1, the curve goes through the point. Now, multiplicity of 2, this is the one you have to pay close attention, look for, is it touches and turns. And then multiplicity of 3, you have the cubic function that goes through the point. Now, end behavior, write using infinity notation with respect to the arrows. Okay, so finish up your notes. Okay, now your notes are completed. Let's take a look at the examples. All right, graphing polynomials part 1 on page 72. Find the following information for each polynomial, then sketch a graph. Now, the degree name, since it's the degree of 3, it's cubic. The leading coefficient is positive 2. Number of turns would be 3 minus 1, which equals 2. Now, even or odd, it's an odd degree. The y-intercept, now the y-intercept is when x is 0. So you're going to substitute 0 into the function. So f of 0 equals 2 times 0 to the third power plus 4 to the times 0 squared minus 30 times 0, which equals 0. So your y-intercept is 0, 0, which we're going to put there. Now, to identify the zeros, we are going to first adjust the lighting a little bit and adjust the camera. And then we're going to set the function equal to 0. So 2x cubed plus 4x squared minus 30x equals 0. Now, it looks like we can factor out a 2 because 2, 4, and 30 are divisible by 2, and so our x cubed squared and x are divisible by x. So we can factor out a 2x, which leaves 1x squared plus 4x minus 15 equal to 0. Okay, now, almost made a mistake there. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then negative 30 divided by 2 is negative 15. Okay, now we need to find all the combinations to make negative 15 and combine to be 2. So, negative 1 times 15 is negative 15, and then negative 1 plus 15 is 14. Okay, that doesn't work. So now let's try negative 2 times, that doesn't work, negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. Sorry, I bumped the camera, so let me fix that. Okay, so that combination works. So that's our factor. So we have 2x 0. So then that's x minus 3, x plus 5. Okay, so we set 2x equal to 0, x minus 3 equal to 0, x plus 5 equal to 0. So divide by 2, x equals 0, so our intercept is 0, comma 0. Add 3 to both sides, so x equals 3, so our 0 is 3, comma 0. Subtract 5 from both sides, so x equals negative 5, so our 0 is negative 5, 0. Now, since we're just sketching the graph, we're just going to put a dot and negative 5, 0 we already have, and 3. Okay, now we know that since it's cubic, the coefficient is positive, it's increasing from left to right, so we know that that's there, and we know it has 2 turns, so 1 turn and 2 turns, and there's your sketch. Now, end behavior. As x approaches negative infinity, that means when it goes left, it goes to f of x goes to negative infinity. Really long negative sign there. Okay. Now, when x approaches positive infinity, that means goes right, f of x goes up, so it's going to positive infinity. Okay, go ahead and finish up example 1. All right, let's take a look at example 2. Now, the degree name is quartic. The leading coefficient is 1, and the number of turns is 4 minus 1, which equals 3. Okay, it's an even degree. The y-intercept is when x is 0. Now, before we find the y-intercept, we need to add 36 to both sides. So our function is x to the 4th minus 13 x squared plus 36 equals 0. Okay, so now we're going to substitute 0 in for x. So 0 to the 4th minus 13 times 0 squared plus 36 equals 36. So our y-intercept is 0, comma 36. So we can put that right there. Okay. Now to identify the zeros, we're going to set x to the 4th minus 13x squared plus 36 equal to 0. So to factor, we know 2 parentheses equals 0. We know x squared. Now we need to find all the combinations to make a positive 36 combined to be negative 13. So negative 1 times negative 36 is 36. Negative 1 minus 36 is negative 37. Negative 2 times negative 18 is positive 36. Negative 2 minus 18 is negative 20. Negative 3 times 12, negative 12 is positive 36. Negative 3 minus 12 is negative 15. That doesn't work. Negative 4 times negative 9 is positive 36. Negative 4 minus 9 is negative 13. That works. So factors are x squared minus 4, x squared minus 9. Okay? So now we said x squared minus 4 equal to 0. X squared minus 9 equal to 0. Add 4 to both sides, so x squared equals 4. Add 9 to both sides, x squared equals 9. Now we're going to take the square root of both sides. Now remember, square root is plus or minus. So x equals plus or minus 2, and x equals plus or minus 3. So our zeros are 2 comma 0, negative 2 comma 0, 3 comma 0, and negative 3 comma 0. So let's put those. So that's negative 3, negative 2, positive 2, positive 3. Okay. Now, we know that since the leading coefficient is positive, it opens upwards, and then there's 3 turns. So 1 turn, 2 turns, and 3 turns. And there's your sketch. Okay. Now, as x approaches negative infinity, means going left, f of x is going up, so to positive infinity. Now, when x approaches positive infinity, that means going right, f of x is going up, so it's going to positive infinity. All right, go ahead and finish up example 2. All right, now let's take a look at example 3. Okay, now the name of the degree is quartic. Leading coefficient is -1. Number of turns is 4 minus 1, which equals 3. It is an even degree. The y-intercept number is when x is 0. So now we need to substitute 0 in for x. So negative 0 to the 4th plus 2 times 0 cubed plus 8 times 0 squared equals 0. So your y-intercept is 0, 0. Okay, so now we set negative 1x to the 4th plus 2x cubed plus 8x squared equal to 0. Now, we can factor out a -1 and an x to the second power. So that's -1 x squared, which leaves 1x squared minus 2x minus 8 equal to 0. Okay, so now we have -1x squared. We need to factor this. Now we need to find all the combinations to make -8 and combine to be 2. So 1 times -8 is -8. 1 minus 8 is -7. That doesn't work. 2 times -4 is -8. 2 minus 4 is -2. That works. Our factors are x plus 2, x minus 4. So we need to set -1x squared equal to 0, x plus 2 equal to 0, and x minus 4 equal to 0. Now, here we divide both sides by -1, so x squared equals 0. Take the square root, so that's plus or minus 0. So that's technically x equals plus or minus 0, which just equals to 0, but since there's 2 of the zeros, that's multiplicity of 2. And that's important when we start getting to the sketching of the graph. Here we subtract 2 to both sides, x equals -2. Add 4 to both sides, so x equals 4. So our zeros or x-intercepts are 0, 0, multiplicity of 2, -2 comma 0, and 4 comma 0. So we already have the 0. We need a -2, and we need the 4. Okay. Now, we know that since it's negative, it opens downward, and it has 3 turns. So 1 turn, but here, because it's multiplicity of 2, we know from our notes that it touches and turns. So it touches, turns out there's a second turn, and then there's your third turn. Okay. Now, and behavior. So as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches negative infinity. So it means as it goes left, it goes down. And as x approaches positive infinity, means it goes right, it goes down. Okay, go ahead and finish up your examples and start working on your assignment and have a wonderful Wildcat day.